Generosity isn't always rewarded by God, but it sometimes is. As Christians, we're called to be generous, to give of our money, to give of our resources to those who are in need. We call it tithing for the 10% that we should try to give to the poor and those in need. Now, when we're generous, and not just in tithing, it's beautiful to see how God takes care of us. The generosity that we do, the tithing, sometimes challenges us and stresses our resources. It stretches our ability to do things. Maybe we might have to limit some other things. But we can find that we're often, in the long run, provided for by God. We're taken care of by God. And that's the spiritual lesson that we should learn about generosity. We just got back from a spring break mission trip, which we go on every year down to Mississippi and caring for people down there. To celebrate our time, we go into Memphis to a blues restaurant with live music and good barbecue to enjoy each other's company and have a little celebration for the time that we spent in the work we've done on the mission trip. This year, when the time came to settle the check, I asked the waitress whether a gratuity had already been added. And she said yes, one had been. But the way she said it made me wonder if enough had been added. And we'd had a good time, and they'd worked hard to serve our tables. The wait staff and waitresses and waiters are often underpaid. So I thought, we should give them a little more gratuity. And so I put down an extra tip on the receipt. Well, she was surprised, and she came back actually, "Are you sure you wanted to give us this much?" Now, inside, I was like, oh man, how much should I actually give them? But I was like, no, you deserve it. You worked hard, and we'd like to thank you for your hard work, which is what a tip is all about, to thank someone for their hard and good work. So she was very grateful and very kind and walked off and served us nicely for the rest of the meal with refills on our soft drinks as we listened to the live music. I was worried about our budget, though. Is that going to come back and kind of bite us in the end? Well, it turns out God took care of us. So even though I was worried, God took care of us. As we were driving back from Mississippi, on 2 different occasions, people came up to us and offered us gifts to support the mission trip, monetary gifts. And do you know how much money they gave us? The exact amount that I gave to the waitresses as the extra tip. The exact amount. I didn't know a stranger was going to come up to us at a McDonald's in Missouri and offer us a gift to support our trip, but God knew, and God moved our hearts to be generous. Now, this isn't maybe a big story per se, but it's a beautiful story of God's providence. So I encourage you and invite you, next time you feel like God's calling you to be generous, to do it, to trust His promptings, and believe and hope that our Lord is going to provide for you in some way, even a way you don't know how, that He'll provide for you some way to care for your generosity and care for you who imitate His own generous fatherly love. God bless you. I love you.